No, thank you, Chairman McGovern, Ranking Member Cole, and all the members of the Rules Committee, and thank you too for your tributes to our colleague on Ways and Means, Jackie Walorski. She was anyone can tell you she was a happy Hoosier who could light up a room with her joy, her passion, her brilliance, and love of life. There is literally nothing Jackie couldn't do. We all are all shocked and heartbroken, yet grateful to count her as a friend. And in the Ways and Means Committee, we have set up a tribute to her at her seat on the committee dais, where she loved to serve and where she shone so brightly. So thank you for all your prayers. And I will be leaving, catching an airplane to be at the service here soon. Unfortunately, the Senate's latest Manchin Biden version of Build Back Better is a hoax on the American people. This Don't Say Inflation or Recession Act fails to reduce inflation, fails to reduce the budget deficit, and fails to reduce the world's temperature. If the Green New Deal and corporate welfare had a baby, it would look like this. And who pays to raise this poor child? Made in America manufacturing, small businesses, and Walmart shoppers. Who in their right mind raises taxes in a recession? The answer is President Biden and congressional Democrats who bungled this economic recovery. Other countries are lowering their taxes to fight inflation. Only Democrats who bungled the recovery think this is a good idea. The Biden economy is a very cruel economy, with families skipping meals, eliminating meat, and using their credit cards to pay for daily essentials. Food inflation is not 0.0. It went up 12.9% this past year on families. Inflation is so bad, 1 out of 4 Americans are delaying retirement because they can't figure out a way to make ends meet. We have a shrinking economy, a shrinking paychecks, and a shrinking workforce. President Biden likes to brag he's created nearly 10 million jobs. The unemployment rate is 3.5%. But he's in denial that President Trump created 12.4 million jobs post COVID and lowered unemployment to 3.5% for the first time in half a century. And here's the difference. Under Republican leadership, paychecks grew twice as fast as prices. The economy was surging, not shrinking, and 600,000 more Americans were working then than under today this failed White House. In the impact of $350 billion in taxes, you'll see higher taxes on companies that build here in America that will kill jobs, slow the economy, and raise prices. Small businesses, who hire nearly half of all workers in America, will have a harder time surviving. And this $50 billion in higher taxes falls on small business owners who file as individuals. And it's unbelievable. Raising taxes on companies that reinvest in their own stockholders hurts seniors and other savers. New energy taxes will drive up costs for families. And unbelievably, all Senate Democrats, including Vice President Harris, voted for higher taxes on these small businesses so they could protect the millionaires and the billionaires from higher SALT taxes. Our Democrat colleagues love the wealthy, but not so much middle class families. The Joint Committee on Taxation, not Larry Summers, not a list of liberal economists, the Joint Committee on Taxation reports taxes on Americans will rise for nearly every income level. The president is violating his pledge not to raise taxes on middle class Americans. And I hope no one is tweeting out that not one penny of taxes will be raised. I'm afraid that account could be suspended for misinformation. This bill unleashes 87,000 new IRS agents on American taxpayers, targeting families, farmers, and small businesses. The Congressional Budget Office confirms the largest part of any new taxes collected will come from middle class families. The biggest target are Walmart shoppers, you know who they are, living paychecks to paycheck, struggling to make ends meet under President Biden's raging inflation, with fuel costs making it hard to just drive to the store. They will be hit with 710,000 new audits under the Democrats' bill due to the skyrocketing surge of new IRS agents. It's simple. More cops, more arrests. This Don't Say Inflation or Recession Act contains no language protecting middle class taxpayers from this army of otters. Not one sentence, not one word. Don't let anyone try to fool you there. But boy, in this bill, do Democrats love the wealthy. Under this act, nearly $250 billion in Green New Deal subsidies go to the wealthy and to the biggest, most successful businesses in America. These are government checks written to the wealthy, even if they don't owe any taxes. So a single working mom will get hit with a tax hike starting next year, according to the Joint Committee on Taxation. Her taxes will be sent in a government check to a large, successful corporation. A yard man will send his taxes in a government check to the well-to-do family whose lawn he's cutting so they can buy an $80,000 luxury electrical vehicle. Democrats also increase the cost of health care and medicines, kill new life-saving cures, while providing Obamacare subsidies for those who don't need them. Congress's nonpartisan scorekeeper and the Penn Wharton School of Business, University of Chicago, all confirm this socialist price-fixing scheme could be a death sentence for some patients, raising the cost of new drugs, crushing innovation, and killing hundreds of cures. Healthcare inflation is already up 17%. Yet untargeted extensions of pandemic-era Obamacare subsidies do nothing, zero, to address these costs. And they provide more affordable health care to some jobless than those who reconnect to work, making the workforce shortage even worse. Democrats hide the true $250 billion cost of making these Obamacare subsidies permanent, creating a massive funding cliff, despite Senator Manchin's pledge not to do so. Higher taxes, more IRS audits on Walmart shoppers, greater inflation, including on healthcare and drug prices, will hurt Americans as we enter a recession. At the end of the day, you've got to ask yourself, do you trust the same president and the same Democrats who drove this economy into a recession and drove prices sky high with yet another economic recovery bill? For those reasons, I urge my colleagues to vote against this. Yield back.
Oh, thank you very much.